I want to start by just opening up and talking about the topic today. And then by the time we're done on the call today, I'm going to make it a leverage announcement. I know a bunch of you had leverage booked, and it was such a painful thing for us to move it. But because of this Omicron virus is supposed to peak during our leverage conference in Phoenix. And as a leader, I just felt a lot of responsibility when I started seeing all of the cancellations with airfare and airlines and all of the issues that were happening, that when we take you out of your business for that amount of time, to not have you be able to get home or to get there because of all of the crap that's going on and the lack of people being able to support and services, it just felt like the right thing to do. So we moved it. And so right now, if you want to write down on your calendars right now, it's going to be March 14th. I'll give you more details later, and it's going to be in a very completely different location. By the end of the webinar today, I'll give you all that. I've got it all. I'm just going to have you hold on. I want you to hang on with anticipation and excitement, because we haven't even announced it yet to our coaches where we're going and what we're doing. So because you're here today and you're here with me, I'm going to give you the inside scoop. You guys cool with that? You guys want to know? By the way, this is going to be by far, hands down, the best leverage we've ever put on. It's our speakers and the presenters and the skill stuff that we're teaching is flat out the best content we've ever done on the leverage. So it's going to be worth going to if you haven't got tickets yet. The other good thing about it is leverage was sold out. The new venue opens up more availability, so we can get more people. If you weren't able to go to the one in January, you'll be able to come to this one. So hopefully that works out for you. So let me first start by talking about today's theme. One of the things is we build teams, and you're all part of this because you're coaching with Workman. And, we talk about building teams and focus on building teams. What happens is when we start building teams, we develop our role as a team leader is two things: people development and business development. And when you do those two things really well, it creates a new set of problems. And let me give you an example of what I mean by this. And Ray, I'm sure you've experienced this over your career, is that when you develop great people, they start to wonder why they need the team. So you pour into them and you develop them, and they start to become amazing. And then all of a sudden you're left with, oh my gosh, my top performer is going to leave. And you never want to lose somebody, but we all love them so much that we also want the most for them. We want them to get the best for their families. We want them to have free time. We want them to be able to buy and invest in real estate. And so it creates this dynamic as a leader that puts you in a position where you have to make some hard choices. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring in one of our teams that has some high performers that has gone through the process of getting to the place where they feel like maybe they need their own team, or maybe they need a different culture, or maybe we need to do something different. I want to talk about how do we highlight them to make them feel valued on the team. And then what are some of the things we can do as leaders to be able to create an environment where our high performers will stay? You guys like this topic today? Because I think this is something that we've dealt with so many different teams, but we don't talk openly with it. And we're very fortunate to have with us Mona Malone and Melanie, and they're both high performers with Christy Buck's team, who have agreed to just kind of talk openly about being a team member, being a high performer, and what that looks like, and the challenges that they feel, and how do we address some of those challenges. And then we have the amazing Samantha. Samantha is the operations manager for the Christy Buck team. She's been with Christy since she was her babysitter. Christy Buck. Samantha, tell us a little bit about kind of where you were. We started coaching back in 2012. I want you guys to think about that. So we're still coaching. Some people think after a year their coaching's done. Oh yeah, my year's up. My contract's up. I'm out. Well, since 2012, that's when Christy came to a seminar and signed up for coaching, and she's still coaching today. But her business has transformed, and we've had to do completely different things in that process. Samantha, say hello to everybody, and let's just talk a little bit about the team.
Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here with you today. So like Earl said, we started with Christy back in 2012. I was Christy's babysitter long before that, when I was 17 years old. And I started working for her in the company. I was 19 as her part-time assistant. She wasn't sure if she had enough work back then, so I was part-time here and there. And as the team grew, it's just been really fun to watch it. We met Burl. Actually, Mona was our very first buyer agent hire in 2013. So a year after that. And since then, now we're a team of 34 of us. I oversee the team with Christy, pretty much her right hand. We work side by side with everything. And now we have an assistant we share together, 17 buyer agents, 2 listing agents, commercial department, several admin that help us run everything. Last year, we closed right under 400 transactions and did 136 million sale volume. It was a really good year, even with COVID and everything we had going on, but it's been fun. And like Beryl said, we'll never stop coaching. Every time we turn around, we have so many questions to ask and things to figure out.
That's kind of fun. And so when they started, they were at 250,000 GCI. Now they're at 200 million in sales. I want you to do the math on that. And it's been a really cool transition. How much? And so the other thing that a lot of team leaders wonder is, how do I go from, being all, how much of the business was Christy then, and how much of it is her production now?
So 100% of it was Christy then, and now not even 5%, honestly. She rarely does clients, and it's usually friends and family, like her kids, and that's about it. The rest of it she hands right over to the team.
Or maybe an investment property here and there. So how many of you would like to build your business to the point where your production doesn't matter in the success of the team? Is there anybody interested in that concept? Okay, so you're in good company. You're in good company here. Now, I also think that we like I love what I do. It's okay to love what you do. It doesn't mean you ever have to stop. It just means you don't have to do it to succeed. So you get to choose to do as much as you want because it's your business, but you don't have to. And that's a very different way of approaching the business. I've learned a long time ago, when I stopped needing the business came much bigger and faster. But when I was hungry, you almost give off a stench that people can smell. Like, it's like, well, yeah, they need it. They got commission breath, whatever that looks like to you. And so getting to that place where you don't have to have it so bad is an important thing in your life. I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. Let's see. While I do that, Samantha, will you do me a favor and will you introduce our 2 amazing rock stars and tell us a little bit about who they are, what they do on the team, what their role is?
Absolutely, I'd love to. It's my favorite part. I love getting to brag about them. So our first I have on the screen is Mona, because I see her here, Mona Malone. She, like I mentioned a minute ago, she's our first buyer agent we hired in 2013. Mona now is one of our top producing agents, who we call our diamond level production. She runs our commercial department. Mona has a full-time assistant, and she's growing a team within our team underneath us. And she's just the go-to. She's a rock star. I want to say Mona did 16 million sale volume in 2021. And then you have Miss Melanie, who has been on the team 6 years, almost 7 at this point, who is
Rookie.
also, yeah, right, I know. She's right up there, diamond level production agent as well, which we'll talk about what that means. And she has a team within our team. She has a full-time assistant, and we're looking at getting her some showing assistants. And Melanie did about 16 million as well in sale volume last year. Ladies, say hello.
Hello.
So Samantha, let's talk about kind of the dynamics of being on a team call and realizing that your top performers aren't happy.
Yeah, that was what I love most about our team, is that we're very transparent here, and we are not perfect. And when there's an issue, we want to openly talk about it with the team. And we've had numerous dinners and conversations with our larger producers as we're bringing on new agents of, I don't feel elevated. Like, I love being on this team and everything, but I don't feel like I stand out with 17 others on the team now. And I feel like I'm capped out. And, they want to do more, but they want to be with the team, and we want them here. So we've spent months and months sitting with the 2 of them, Mona and Melanie specifically, on what that looks like. What does it mean to be elevated? What does it mean to grow for them? And, it all starts with those hard conversations. And I think a lot of people are scared to have them. And we're so appreciative that the 2 of them came to us and gave us that opportunity, instead of just up and leaving, which I think a lot of people do because they're scared to talk to their team leader.
So I'm just kind of curious, from the 2 of you, did it get to the point where something was going to break and you just had to have a conversation, or was it kind of building over time before you decided, hey, let's really address this?
One of the things for me was just kind of hearing in the background, the noise in the back, just kind of like with the newer agents, like, okay, Melanie gets, it's kind of like, sometimes you would hear it's not fair, or why does she get this and why does she get that? And it would make me, I was walking around with a guilt feeling, like, why is everybody talking about me? I mean, it made me feel awkward that I was getting more, than other agents. And I felt like people were talking about me, and I wasn't, it was bringing my self-esteem down. And that was a big thing. And that was one of the things that I was struggling with, on not being an even, I felt like, they just kind of, new agents kind of walked in thinking they, should be getting the same things that the seasoned agents that we've been doing this for a long time. We have a whole lot more experience, and we are somebody that people, they go to us, with all of their questions most of the times. And they still felt, it seemed like they still felt everything should be an even, everything even on the team, because they're on a team.
Yeah, that's like, I have my kids in competitive sports, not rec sports. In rec sports, everybody gets a trophy. In competitive sports, only the ones who win get a trophy. And the reason is because I want them to understand and learn that life isn't fair, and that when you work hard and you convert more deals, it creates more opportunities for you. And it's the same thing on teams. Not everybody should get equal distribution of leads. Like if I've got someone that's converting 3 times as many leads, I can't afford not to give them to them. Does that make sense? And so, but if you don't explain how someone gets to the point where they get an abundance of leads, or they get greater assistance or help, if that's not communicated, then it's very easy to create animosity within the team. And I think the big challenge there wasn't a communication process in place that put people into categories or levels that let them know that when you get here, you get this too. So there was no clear path. It was just not fair.
Right.
Like that. How about you, Mona?
So I think mine is probably more along the lines of just trying to help with burnout. I know that's something that every realtor experiences. And as we've been in the business longer and longer, you get to a point where you're starting to think, okay, I've been doing this all these years. And at some point, you've got to have that extra payback. You've got to have the return on your hard work, basically. So, we appreciate the fact that we need to be able to take that time off. We need to be able to disconnect every once in a while. Whereas if it's just you, there is no one else to pick up the slack when you're gone. You never get that chance to disconnect. That was a huge thing for me and my family.
So for you, it was time and balance.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. And Melanie started feeling undervalued and and separated. She was getting cool stuff and feeling valued, but it made her feel guilty for it, which is totally
Me too. Just like what Mona said, that's 100% me as well, too.
Yeah. So Samantha, let's talk about it. Let's just kind of talk about some of the things that we went through from a discussion perspective and having conversations. And we've actually had direct conversations with team members about how they're feeling, because from a coach's perspective, it was important for me to understand that, a lot of times the team member will say it's about a split, but that's really not the real problem. The real problem is life balance, time, energy, support, opportunity, right? There's a lot of other things, but they don't know how to communicate it. So they come to the team leader and say, well, I don't feel like our relationship is in balance. And so we quickly adjust the split, but it doesn't change the environment or create more opportunity or create the right acknowledgement. So Samantha, let's talk about some of the things that as we were addressing these that you guys decided to do as a team.
Yeah, of course. So when we just starting out with the basics of it, before we dove into some of the more extensive portions, is at the very least, it was, in the title and position that we give each team member starting out, is we really spend a lot of time and thought into that. Our admin aren't our assistants. We are different coordinators. You may have your marketing manager, just elevating our admin from the start, because they are such a crucial part of our business. And, we do team member Tuesday posts on all of our social media, and we have a big sign out in front of our building that we also display it. You'll see Heather on the screen right here, one of our admin. And, just to make them feel important and special and point out life things about them. We also started where we do trainings twice a week, plus we have our meeting and huddle, We pull in each person just for their specialty. Mona runs our commercial and land like nobody else. Melanie, when she's in Boomtown, I mean, everybody wants to be like Melanie there. So we pull both of them in for trainings on that aspect. If you've got our listing agents, you know, who are just great converters, we pull them in. And I think starting out with just that alone is giving everybody a voice, but inside of the team. And it's teaching people that respect of, you know, Melanie is at this level because of this, and she's getting to share that skill set as opposed to just being tucked in her office and nobody being around her. And then, as you know, once we sat down, every year we started what's called a kickoff party with the team. And it's kind of grown the last 2 years. This was our big year where we decided at our kickoff party in January, not only are we going to wrap up and talk about last year's numbers, but we created this level with our team members. And, you know, if you're at 125,000 and up in commissions on the agent side, they're going to be our diamond level agents. And if they're
Pause for just a second.
Yeah.
So one of our big goals is that we want everybody on the team making 100 grand. Like, your job as a leader is to look at every individual salesperson on your team and ask the question, what can I do to help you get to 100 grand? In real estate, even on the splits that we recommend in our program, 40, 60, 45, 55, 50, 50, you can make 100 grand in any market. And so we want so instead of focusing on the split, we focus on how much can they take home. And as leaders, if you start really focusing on making sure, like, how many agents do you have on your team that are diamond? And if the answer is none, then how do we get them there? And that should be your focus for 2022, is how do we get them there? Sorry, Samantha.
No, that's okay. And honestly, that's true, because 2 of our agents we have 4 agents in our diamond level are our listing agents who they have a lower split than buyer agents. And that's not stopping them from getting up there. It's the activities that they're putting in. So when we came up with this, there's 4 different levels for our sales partners. You've got diamond, gold, silver, and standard. And what this did is it allowed us, like Melanie said earlier, she gets double the amount of Zillow leads everyone else gets because her production was at a set level. But we didn't have it very clear that explained that. It was just, well, Melanie gets it because Melanie can produce. This way we can come in and we say, if you're a diamond level producing agent from the previous year and you made 125,000 or up, you have double the amount of lead flow here. You get special lead rights to this service. It just allowed us to really distinguish and divide who is getting what under that title, not under that person. And it took that feeling of Melanie feeling guilty and bad off of her, because it's not Melanie getting it, it's our diamond level agents getting it. Melanie just happens to be one of the diamond level agents.
And so, Melanie, when they announced the diamond and the gold and silver, tell me how the team responded to that.
I think they were positive, and I think that only now that it's kind of set, I think that kind of inspires them to like, okay, I'm going to do it. I even had an agent this morning that started for me.
Contract on the platform. Generally speaking, the longer.
Let me go ahead and mute that.
Okay. Another agent this morning, I asked if he could show for me, and he's like, absolutely. And I was like, I totally got, I'll show for you anytime. He's like, oh no, you've done so much for me. But then he's just like, my goal is to be like you, this year. And I'm like, okay, you're going to be the diamond. You're going to get that diamond level. Yes. He goes, I'm going to try to get it this year. I'm like, no, you are going to get it this year. And he goes, yes, I am going to get it. So I think it kind of gives them something to look forward to, and they can kind of see exactly, I don't know. It was very positive.
Mona, are you seeing the same thing in the office as far as the response from the announcing of levels?
I think it's exciting anytime you have those defined goals, and it's a level that people can reach for. We put a lot of emphasis on goals with our vision boards and all of those things. So I think that is a huge step in the right direction for everybody to have somewhere to go, because sometimes, especially when you're first starting out, you have goals to do great, but you have to define exactly what those goals are. And I think having these levels and these different awards really, like Melanie said, gives you that goal to work toward. I think it helps tremendously.
So Samantha, give a little more, tell me what are some of the other things that a diamond level get and how they qualify at each level?
Yeah, so on our team, we have a desk fee that each agent pays a month. And we have a couple file fees that are in there. If a diamond level agent, you're at 125,000 and up, you no longer have your desk fee. You also have 0 file fees. So the company is taking on your client gift, your errors in admission, some miscellaneous other fees, admin bonuses. We take on all of those expenses for them. And it's just a way of giving back to them. They're working hard. They're here, they're giving our name out there. I mean, huge pride. So it's we want to give back to them, things like that. We also, once they're at that level, all of our agents have a company vehicle and they pay insurance on that monthly. Our agents in the diamond level no longer have to pay their insurance on the vehicle. We cover that completely. There's so many things we do. They get double lead flow. They have first opportunity to grow a team within the team. And that just really gives clear vision for the agents who are like, well, why do they get a full-time assistant? When can I get one? Well, when you hit actually gold level is when we start looking at a shared assistant paid for by the company. Then when you get to diamond level, you qualify to have your own. So it just really gives them clear, measurable things to work toward. And when you bump down to our gold level, so our second level, there are 3 agents that fell in gold level this year, and that's 75,000 to 125. So I know that's a big jump in that section, but we really wanted them to stand out too. And they get some additional things. They have no desk fee. They still pay their file fees, but no desk fee, which that saves them $395 a month. That was a pretty big expense to them. They also have opportunity for additional lead sources in there. And they have a shared assistant. So the company will pay as long as they're doing their minimum, they're averaging 3 a month, the company will pay. And it's about 2 to 3 of them share an assistant with that. So it's not like there's 10 of them using it. There's only 3. And that really helps them leverage their time. They're able to, that assistant can write contracts for them. They can look through their Boomtown leads, they can convert things, they can set appointments, follow up on feedback, basically anything and everything that agent needs. That assistant is there to help them. They're cross-trained, they're ready to step in and do anything. That assistant's also licensed, so if we need to send them out the door to show for those agents, that's also available. And I think that's been huge. When you bump down to the silver level, that is 50,000 to 75,000. And we had quite a few, actually, the majority, several of our new agents all fell in that category. And, that one has some perks as far as some different lead things, but we're not giving them, they're having their standard lead flow. We're not giving them double, we're not overwhelming them, but we're there to support and help. Our sales manager is meeting with our silver level and our standard pretty much every day after huddle. They have to do 3 trainings a week with her so that she can try to elevate them to the next level. They've got the diamond level agents there as mentors to help them through their files. And then you've got your standard sales partner. Those are your brand new people just coming on, those under 50,000. And that's pretty much the 4 levels that we've come up with so far for that piece of it.
So I love it. So for those of you that are listening in, feel free to use the questions, the Q&A box, if you have questions for Samantha or any of the team members, and I'll do my best to ask your questions. How are you liking the idea of setting up levels on your teams where your agents can have different levels of support as they hit different levels of income? As a team leader, even if you're on a 50-50 split, and the agent hits 125, that means so did you. And so if you have 10 agents that are hitting diamond, that's a big deal. That's a 7 figures on the net income to you if you build your business correctly. So we want to make sure you're thinking through this as you create scaling your business. Is the way that you as leaders get everything you want is to hire people to help them get whatever they want. So tell us about kicking it off and how you launch. Now, Samantha, from the time we decided to create levels to the launch party, how much time did you have? And I want you guys all to understand how this is the mind of Samantha and how she works, how fast you put this all together.
I want to say 10 days max, maybe 7. That includes weekend. If that, and I was on vacation 5 of those days. So that was an adventure. Honestly, so the kickoff party, Christy loves giving back to the team. If that is one thing about her, that is her pride and joy. She loves giving back, loves giving gifts, loves making them feel important. So we sat together and she said, at the annual kickoff party, I really want to do it big this year. And I'm like, okay, what you got in mind? And so she gave us all of these ideas, and we get somebody to come in and cater, and they cook for the team. And you'll see in this picture below, each team member, when they come in, they each had an assigned balloon that they grabbed this particular year. And it stood for something, a different level for them. And they had no idea. Every black one had $100 bill hidden in it. That was for the admin. They had no idea. And it was just really fun because, everybody walks in, they have all of these balloons underneath the tables. We have tablecloths hidden, and every single agent this year went home with what we called an agent survival kit. And it was really funny when they opened it. It's all personalized, had their initials, their names. They had a rain jacket in their bag. They had a roll of toilet paper, because you always need toilet paper when you're at open houses. A flashlight, a tape measure, a clipboard, pretty much everything that they would need to be out showing, and if they were to be stuck somewhere. And it was just really exciting as you're calling up every single agent's name and you're handing them this agent survival kit. And then, we're giving back to our admin. Every admin got to pick a gift. And so what Christy and I did is we sat down and we came up with a budget. We said, okay, this is how much money we had put back for something else, but we were like, you know what, let's invest it in our team and the kickoff party. And what we did with our top 4 producers, we ordered these beautiful glass awards, and it said Diamond Level Production, Mona Malone on it. And we had asked Jared's Jewelers, the manager there, we wanted to give each one of them a tag watch, which is a big gift. But the top 4 of them, they did not know. We had the manager of Jared's Jewelers came, and they brought the watches with them. We had a display table up front, and it was covered. So when they walked in, they had no idea what was under any of these bags. And so as you're going, you're lifting up the table with all of the survival kits. You're lifting up the table with all of the admin gifts. And then you get to the gold level gifts, and they have these beautiful Louis Vuitton purses and all of these high-end things you're handing out. And then the diamond level to pull that off and have all of these watches sitting up there. And we're like, this is for you. You get to pick a watch off of this table. He's going to size you right here in front of everyone. I think it's just a really neat experience. You're not only making your team members feel special, we feel like, with the glass award and the recognition and the gifts, but then to give them these big gifts to really work for, and they're meaningful to us. Now we want that to be the standard, is all of our diamond level agents are going to have these beautiful tag watches. So I don't know, ladies, if y'all want to give me some feedback on what you thought of that experience.
I felt like if any of y'all ever watched The Bachelor or Bachelorette, at the part where they're sitting there with the guy with the diamond rings, and you're sitting at this table, it just was like, wow. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting here in front of all this beautiful, and I get to pick. And I picked this one, by the way. But it was overwhelming. It was really, really fun and very grateful.
Very rewarding. Yeah, it was pretty awesome, to be able to go up and pick out what you want. It's not, here's something for you. We love, of course, anything that we're given, but it's really neat to go up there and be able to pick out something that's so personal to your style. And, it takes a lot of thought that goes into the awards that they give. I noticed somebody asked, are there any men on our team? There are, and the gifts are personalized for them as well. There's man gifts, there's gifts for the women, there's lots of different things that make it really special for each person that's involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have 5 guys on the team, and they are like the team husbands around here. They definitely take care of us. They've got their hands full with all of us women. But yeah, so the guy bags were actually leather. We put their last name, we didn't monogram. We did give them some slack there. And then the women bags are very feminine, and we try to scale it to everyone's personalities. And some of you team leaders are probably thinking, oh my gosh, this is really this is a big expense. And it is, but if you start at the beginning of the year and say, I'm going to put X amount back every month, and then you give yourself more than that 5-day period, and you map it out on your agile, and you say, this is what I want to happen. This is the, Christy and I just set budgets and said, X dollar is going for the gold level, X dollar is going for the diamond level, X this. And then we started thinking of what those gifts were. It really all came together. And now we have this beautiful agile created with links and prices, and we know what our budget was, so we can duplicate it every year after that. Another thing we did this year as part of our party to tie in just team interaction and making them feel valued is we did an Infinity Star Award. We had the entire team came to an office meeting in December. And again, this was a very short decision Christy and I came up with after numerous calls with Earl on how to redesign our team. And we had everybody take out a piece of paper and said, we want you to vote for an agent that you think would be our Infinity Star agent, and an admin. And what that person is the person that we felt truly was the walking image of our core values, the person that comes in every day in a great mood. Our core value acronym is outstanding, and each one stands for something different. And it's which person do you think is always helpful and with a smile on their face and there no matter what. And they voted, and Alyssa, who you see on the screen, is our admin, who won, and Mona won it for the agents for 2021. And they get this beautiful glass award, and Alyssa got her Louis Vuitton perfume and her personalized bag you see. And I think it's just really fun to set them apart. And I think, all of the admin, of course, we love, and we told them all it was very close, but just to set Alyssa aside like that, you can just tell in her demeanor every day now, and everybody's striving to be like Alyssa.
Love that.
Ladies, did I miss anything on the party that y'all want to add?
I think so. I think that covers it. I mean, it's such a wide range. It's hard to explain all of it because there are so many different levels and so many different ways that everybody's rewarded. But
Mona, I'm looking at you with a motor.
Personal.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mona. I was looking at you with a motorcycle jacket here. You want to tell me more about that? What?
So yeah, the motorcycle jacket, there is the award for the new star reward. But yes, one of my first goals when I started real estate was to buy my own Harley. And I guess about a year and a half in, I was able to do that. So that was pretty amazing. So yeah, that goes right along with it.
You guys imagine Mona, this tiny, she's like 5 foot, if that, on this big orange Harley, just driving down the road. It was so fun to see.
I remember that on your vision board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melanie wanted to buy a house with a pool, and she bought that, what, 2 years ago, a year ago?
Second house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So Melanie and Mona, as we're going through this from the agent's perspective, team leaders don't know if this stuff really matters. Is it worth doing, and why is it?
So definitely it makes it worthwhile. I mean, we have people when we go to conferences and things like that, they'll always say, why do you stay on a team? You can do this on your own. Why are you staying with a group when you don't have to? And of course, everybody's idea is you can make so much more money. Well, it's definitely not all about making more money. I mean, we all have goals, but the biggest thing is the support that goes along with working on a team. When we get to the point where we can have assistance, that is a huge support for us. Sick days, things with our kids, our families, whatever it might be. We still have somebody here in the office. Even if we're out showing, for an entire day, our assistants are in the office. They can start offers for us. In our market lately, we have a lot of deadlines for offers. So if you're out running around all day, you may work 9 to 6 and still have to sit down and write offers. Well, those offers may be due by 6 o'clock. So the fact that the company can give you those assistants, that is a huge perk. All of the awards are nice, but just working on a team, you have somebody to fall back on. You have the administrative staff. If someone's always done real estate this way and always had that support, they probably don't realize how helpful that is. But to have transaction coordinators, when you get something under file, under contract, you hand that file to the transaction coordinator. They make sure you reach all your deadlines. They schedule your closings, all of those type things. Those are additional rewards that we consider that make it very much worth being on a team.
To add on to that a little bit is, for me, is definitely the assistant. Before I was on the Christy Buck team, I was on my own for how many years? 10 years, 15 years. And I've always been on my own 100% commission, but the consistency was way up and down, like, because I would be so busy one month, and while I'm focusing on all those leads that I had and getting those to close, that's when I wasn't looking forward, and that's where I would fall and then have, I may make 25 one month and then nothing for the next couple of months. So having an assistant now, it just keeps going. It's very consistent. On my commission's way more consistent than it ever has been in the past.
Well, and it's consistently growing.
Yes.
Well, and I see that Brad, there's a couple questions. Brad asked if the levels are take home pay the agents receive. That is on the agent's portion of their split. So that was, before we took out any of their fees that they formerly paid. So if their side, they made the 125 and up, that's what classified them as that diamond level. And then Eric had asked, what do you do once you reach that top level with assistant and more leads? What's the path to get higher? We are working on that aggressively, and that is the teams within the team model. And I don't want to go into it too much because it's very new, what we're figuring out, but it's showing agents for these agents. It's putting a buyer agent underneath them. It's how can we get Mona and Melanie to continue making more money, but not be out in the field as much. We had a conversation this morning with the team that I just had with Earl yesterday on, leveraging referrals in our top 50 and other areas that we can continue helping these ladies grow and what that looks like for them. I mean, we want Mona to have a team within our company and Melanie to have a team within our company. But I want both of them enjoying their homes with their pools that they bought at the same time.
I mean, after 10 years of coaching, we still talk about the top 50?
That was half of the call yesterday was top 50. Yes.
So just, your coaches talk about that all the time. The reason is there's so much opportunity there, and it's zero cost business. And we spend so much time going after strangers. Every once in a while, we have to go reset that, see how we're doing, and make sure we're headed the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about some other culture fun things you do.
Yeah, one of the big things that we do also each year, Christy budgets very well with this, is we do a company trip. And we chose not to do one this year just because we had the changes going with the elevating of team members, and COVID, of course, is knocking us all down a little. But we do company trips with the whole team. We are also looking at doing a top producer trip, and then being able to take a +1 and really just spending that extra time with those top producers. But what we do is, in the past, you'll see here's 2 pictures. We've taken the team to Destin. We've gone to Cabo, and we've literally taken the entire team. There's always a few people that can't go, they have babies or whatever their situation. So those that stay back are fully on board to help support the team, do all the showings, field everything we need. But we literally load the whole team up. The company pays for it. And we just take them about 4 days. We usually have 3 fun days there, and then our travel days, and just have fun. In Destin, we rented a big house that housed all of us. I mean, it was a 3-story house. It had, 9-10 bedrooms in this place. And it's fun because everybody will have designated times that everyone's together. But what you'll see is people will get with different groups that they don't normally get with. When we were in Cabo, everything was right there for us on the resort. So in the morning, you'd have 4 or 5 people having breakfast together, and then another group of us would come in, and you'd see our admin sitting with an agent that they hardly communicate with at the office. And it really just brings the team together, and we do fun activities while we're there. We all go fishing or silly stuff. We do a lot of competitions. We're very competitive here. A lot of relay events, things like that. But it's just so much fun. Mona drove our pontoon boat in Destin. There's a lot about Mona you guys don't realize with her Harley and her pontoon boat skills. But yeah, we just have fun and give back to them, and we want them to rest. And we really try telling them these 3 days, put your laptop away, put your phone away, let those back at the office help. And they're happy to help the ones that stayed back.
How many of you are looking at the 3 ladies and saying, oh, come on, you're too sweet to be competitive? Let me tell you something. That is an understatement. You name a competition. I don't care if it's for a pack of gum. These ladies get fierce. It's pretty awesome to watch.
They don't even know what they're winning half of the time. We run a contest every single month in our team, and they have absolutely no idea, but they're going to win it. I mean, they are going to at all expense. It's just really fun to watch and see how they think creative together. Like, we are very competitive, but our team works extremely well together. But I think that's because, you know, we spend a lot of time trying to figure that out and invest in them and make everyone feel special. I mean, every single team member is important here. Even our office runner, I mean, he's a high school kid, and we invite him all of these parties. He's there. He has a gift. He's, you know, we post him on our social media and brag about him. And they go off to college and they come back and said this was their best job they've ever had so far.
That's really too with the monthly challenges. You know, we have different contests all the time, but it's really all inclusive, because one month it may be, you know, who gets the most listings. And the next month it's, you know, what admin are processing most files. There's always something that includes everybody at some point or another. And yeah, she's right. It's usually not about the award or what the gift is. It's just taking pride and really pushing and trying to win those competitions.
I think that's cool. Let me ask Melanie, let me ask you this. So we have all these team leaders here. What would you like team leaders to know about high performers, and how can they be more proactive at recognizing signs when someone is going to burn out, or when they feel like they're not being like the relationship might be out of balance?
I guess communicating is the biggest key. Just talking to, you know, talking it out, not just holding it in. You have to talk about it, like Samantha talked in the beginning about, you know, some of the conversations are difficult, and you just have to face it and realize, you know, and figure out how to overcome it, whatever the issue is.
We knew with Melanie that she was burned out because every couple of weeks we try really hard to take our top producers and we go to dinner with them. We call it our sushi night. We say lady sushi night because we have yet to, some of the guys haven't hit that level yet. But we knew Melanie was not showing up to these, and she was very quiet, and she was not saying a word in our meetings. And we just know how Melanie's personality, she has this huge big personality. And when she's quiet, something is wrong. And it was Christy actually for a couple of days was like, something is really wrong with Melanie. I can feel it. And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, no, there is. And sure enough, Christy reached out to Melanie, and Melanie poured it all out there for us. And, you know, which again, we appreciate. At first, it's hard to swallow as a team leader or as management. Like, what do you mean they don't love where they're at and they don't appreciate it? But, you know, we had to be open-minded and say, okay, if we don't make a change, we are going to lose our top producers. And it's not just about losing that production. It's about losing that family member to us. I mean, Melanie and Mona are our family. They're all our family. So it's what are we going to do to work together so we can all continue to grow?
Well, and years ago, it was sort of a running joke, you know, whose turn is it going to be to cry today? You know, it was at least honestly once a week that we would get overwhelmed and just really have to step back. So I think the team has gotten really good about recognizing when somebody is to that point. You know, and as soon as somebody says, I'm burned out, I'm tired, whatever it is, you have a handful of people that jump in and offer, what can I do? Let me take your listings. Let me go show for you. Let me do, whatever it is to ease that burden off of them. And I do think our stress levels, of course, they get high. We get frustrated, but I do think that's a lot better that we have the support. Even our admin are licensed. So if we need somebody to run and unlock a house or go and show for us at the last minute, something like that, even our administrative staff can do that.
I appreciate just this whole team, and not only that, just Burl. When I did have some struggles and some things going on, not some questions whether the team was the right fit for me or not. It wasn't just like, okay, what's the problem? But it's truly like Christy kept coming back and forth, how, just kind of talking about things and changes that we're going to do within the team. And then even Burl coming in, okay, I appreciated that so much. It goes all the way to Burl. It's not just, doesn't just stop at Christy. I just really appreciated that.
Anytime I have an opportunity to talk to any of you one-on-one, I love doing that. I would rather do that than the big stuff that I do, because I care so much about you individually. And I think most of our coaches feel that way too. And we just love seeing you succeed, and we don't want anyone to be hurt because of, we're growing too fast or too much or whatever. We want to make sure everybody's taken, everybody's true feelings are taken into account, because there's enough for everybody. One of the things we've had lots of conversations about is the pie, and that sometimes you have to be okay taking a smaller piece of a bigger pie as a team leader. And so, it's okay to create an environment where other people can succeed. And so what does that look like? And what does that mean? And we can get into that if you have questions about that. This has been phenomenal. By the way, can we just let Melanie and Mona know how much we appreciate them just being transparent and honest and just showing up with us and saying, what's on their heart. Is there anything else you'd like our team leaders to know before we wrap up today about being on a team or attracting talent? And remember, you're talking to the team leaders. What do you want them to know about, like, creating the right culture?
I think one of the biggest things, sometimes we don't know what we need when we come to them with a problem, or we come to them just crying. We're just overwhelmed, or thank goodness that doesn't happen that often anymore. But we really appreciate the fact that they will take the time, and you will take the time to work through those issues, because we just don't know what we don't know. We just get to a point, we know we're exhausted. We know, maybe we're not spending time with our family like we should be, things like that. And we just really appreciate that the company will work through those issues with us, instead of just going, sorry, we can't help you, go on down the road. It's a big deal for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely say team leaders and management even is being open to listening to your team, and go to your coach. The coach will step in and he's come to us sometimes like, no, y'all's thinking is not necessarily correct. Let's reroute it. Your team members' feelings are valid. If they're coming to you to tell you they feel a certain way, be open to listening. It's easy for us to shoot them down because we're like, no, this is how it is. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Like, we need to adapt to the times and change. And, your people are the ones that are going to be there to tell you how it needs to change and what they need help with.
A lot of gratitude on the chat box and the questions. So thank you, everybody. I do want to tell you, I think everybody on here is clients, but if you're not, you can go to workmansuccess.com, retain your team. We'll make sure you get a copy of this webinar. There's a lot of nuggets in here. You should go back and watch and kind of understand what they're doing and the culture and how they're interacting with everybody. And you're welcome to go there. If for some reason somebody's on here that's not a client, get a strategy session, meet with one of my team and talk to them about what it looks like to coach with Workman, because there's just a phenomenal amount of coaches and people just like this that want to pour into your business and help you as well. I promised I'd give you a quick leverage announcement. So I'm going to tell you what that looks like. So leverage is going to be the 14th, 15th and 16th of March. It's going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah at the Grand America, which is the nicest hotel in downtown Salt Lake City. It happens to be during the ski season. And so even though hotel rates are at a peak, we negotiated the same hotel rates as we had in Phoenix. So it's going to be a great deal. And the cool thing about this location is it's literally a $2.50 train ride from the airport. And the tracks drops you off at the hotel. And then everywhere downtown has free tracks. You can get to any hotel, any restaurant, any bar. And then on Thursday, the 18th, we're doing an open day where we're arranging for those who want to ski or snowmobile or go sledding or just go enjoy Utah sports to go out there and play with their teams. And it's going to be it's just going to be it's going to be a phenomenal event. We wanted to move it further back into Phoenix, but spring training happens. When spring training happens, all the hotels go up and all the airfare goes up and everything gets elevated. And so we decided to bring it to our own backyard. Now, this public announcement hasn't happened yet. So just because you're on this call, you know about it. If you haven't registered for Leverage, one of the cool things about it is we've moved into a venue that has more capacity. So our sold out event has the ability to have more of you attend with us. It's going to be one of our greatest events. Then we're going to piggyback onto it for our coaches. The Friday, Saturday will be our coach training. So coach training will happen directly after Leverage. So all of our coaches will be here and then they'll stay for the next couple of days. So get your teams if you haven't Leverage, get excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We will make sure that you all get notifications and the opportunity to participate. I want to just give a special thanks to Samantha and to Mona and to Melanie. Thank you for being here. Thanks for participating and thanks for being willing to share with everybody. It's been just a tremendous call today. Have a great 2022. We're going to launch a listing challenge on the 18th that is going to last all the way through Leverage, and we're going to have unbelievable huge prizes. So you want to make sure you participate in that thing. So you'll be awarded at Leverage when you get there. All right, everybody, thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your month. We'll see you on the 18th for our phase 1 of Leverage Virtual, and then we go live on into March. Bye, everybody.